everybody, this is the Wikstrand. So, Taken is, when you're really thinking about it for a second, the most right-wing lunatic propaganda piece I've ever seen. I mean, you're having, this girl, Kim, that goes to another country that is not the United States and gets kidnapped about 5 minutes after, arriving because she, doesn't understand, the danger and stuff like that. And the European continent, in this case France, is populated by ineffective, liberal, weak-minded idiots. Or if they're not, they are, populated by East European or Muslims who are evil and pedophiles, or in some case, both. And the only thing that can save her is the fact that she's a virgin and that her father is an ex-CIA agent who doesn't care about rules or laws or courts or law or stuff like that. That's for liberal pussies. You just stomp, murder, punch and kill everybody to death and then it is over. And I fucking love it. This movie is so much fucking fun. We're gonna take a look at it today. This is Taken. Mills is an ex-CIA agent who has now retired because the only thing that really matters to him now is try to reconnect with his daughter Kim, played by Maggie Grace. He doesn't, however, really fit into her world, and he has been gone so long that he has so much catching up to do that he feels that he's never gonna reach her again. And even though he really tries to reconnect with her, it doesn't really work for him, and this makes him really sad in a way that only Liam Neeson can do. Because of this, he reluctantly agrees to allow her to go to Europe, and she goes to Paris, and then she gets kidnapped along with Amanda, who is of course a slut and does not survive this movie, hooray. Because a bunch of Albanians have kidnapped her and is going to sell her off to prostitution, and he has to find her before she's gone forever. And the thing is that prior to 2008, people viewed Liam Neeson as this very serious actor who mostly played stern fathers and mostly did dramas, and I mean, he was Oscar Schindler for Christ's sake. But for some bizarre reason, in his mid-50s, he became a veteran action star straight out of nowhere, and this movie was the catalyst of all of this. Every movie he has done after this in the action genre has basically been some sort of way to bring back the magic of what this movie did, because this movie is so fucking fun. Because when you're looking at the basic of this story, this is about as basic as you can get. This movie could have easily been made by Jean-Claude Van Damme or Steven Seagal or some other dude, who were doing these direct-to-video movies around 2008, and I would have given it, 29 points or something like that, but not here. Not with a pretty big budget, not with a A-list celebrity as your, main star, completely, blowing us away with his murdering ability and his screen presence, because Liam Neeson is the real driving force behind this movie. There isn't really any other to latch on to. I mean, Kim is okay, but she's missing for most of the movie, since she has been taken and all that good stuff. And the bad guys are just a plethora of East European or Muslim or Belgian, France people who gets beaten up, murdered and electrocuted for their troubles. The film is filled with car chases and fun fighting sequences and really satisfying violence. But there is one thing this movie does that I think was really, really clever. And that is the fact that some movies more than the main character does. I call that know too much syndrome. You know more than the main character, which makes your main character look like a dumbass. Or you have no idea what's going on here, but the character knows too much and you feel like you're kind of on the back burner for this one. But this one made it absolutely perfect, because you know what he knows at the same time as he knows it, but you're sometimes a little bit behind what he's doing. So when he's interrogating people, you don't know why he's doing this, but then you're realizing, oh, that's why he did that. I thought that was so smart and so clever. It is almost impossible also to not sympathize with Brian Mills and not say, well, fuck that guy, electrocute his ass to death. So, because who are you going to sympathize with? A bunch of evil pedophiles and, you know, child abductors? No, no, no. You're not gonna do that, are you? So this is a simple action story with fantastic execution, great suspense, great action sequences, great fighting sequences, and a great Liam Neeson on top. There are a couple of things that bog this movie down just a little bit, but in some cases it is not this movie's fault, in some cases it is this movie's fault, because the setting up process for this movie took a little bit too long for my taste. They could have sped things up a little bit in the beginning. I mean, the sequence when he is, you know, doing the bodyguard thing, you know, with the pop star was kind of, well, fine. We have to, you know, show that he, you know, cares about people and can beat people up. It's a good thing, but all of these sequences in the beginning takes a little bit too long before, you know, she's being, you know, kidnapped in Paris, and Liam Neeson is, you know, telling him that I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill you, and he says, "Good luck." And until that happens, this movie kind of drags severely. But once again, if the second half of the movie is better than the first half, I'm totally okay with it. What I'm not okay with, however, is the violence, because this is a movie that should have been a ultra hard R. This was released as a PG-13 movie, and bloody hell it shows it, because sometimes you really feel that they are restrained by the amount of brutality they could show, and there is an unrated version, but it really didn't feel like an R either. It felt like almost an R, but not quite. This is one of these cases where I think that this movie really should have been a hard R. It doesn't affect the rating as much as the sort of slow pace that this movie has, because this movie is only 90 minutes long, but it feels like it was almost 2 hours because of its very slow start. I know that you have to set up characters, I know you have to set up motivations, I know that, but in this case, I thought that they did this maybe deliberately slow just so the rest of the movie would feel that much more high-paced and with the good pacing and things. I don't know if that is the case, but nevertheless, it is something that made me feel a bit, I don't know. If you've never seen Taken, I must insist that you see it immediately. It is one of the most satisfying action movies I've ever seen. It is one of the greatest revenge tales, in a sense, that I've ever seen, and it is also a great detective story. Could you really have asked for more? How about a hard R, maybe? There are some fun side characters, but they don't really mean that much. And as I said, Amanda, who is the other girl who also gets kidnapped, because she has, you know, had sexual experience before, she of course has to get an overdose and, you know, die, and is never mentioned again. Hooray! They also made 2 bad sequels to this one, and apparently also some kind of a weird TV show not starring Liam Neeson. I do not recommend you to see either of those. I only recommend you to see Taken. And that's basically one of very few Liam Neeson action movies that I think was really good. The rest of them kind of felt like a dollar store version of Taken. Taken easily bags 82 points. The slow start be damned, this movie is just so much fun. Fun car chases and the most unglamorous look at prostitution I think I've ever seen. Go and see it, you will not regret it. Unless you are planning to kidnap Americans in Paris and their fathers are named Brian Mills, then you should not enjoy this movie that much. So I'll see you next time for Well So and So reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching, thank you very much.